Hello and welcome to this session in which we will discuss the structured query language SQL. SQL is a programming language. Simply put, it's a computer language used to manage relational database. So we have a database management system, which is a software. This software uses this language to do what? To manage relational databases. Now the language will have a broad range of commands, and this is what we would learn in this session. What type of command do we have, which categorized under different types based on their functionalities. And we have various commands under the following language: data definition language, or DDL, sometimes it's called data description language, data manipulation language, DML, data control language, DCL, transaction control language, TCL. In this session, we will focus on the data definition language, and we will cover some of its command. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, FarhatLectures.com. Farhat Accounting Lectures is a supplemental educational tool that's going to help you with your CPA exam preparation as well as your accounting courses. My CPA material is aligned with your CPA review course such as Becker, Roger, Wiley, Gleam, Miles. My accounting courses are aligned with your accounting courses, broken down by chapter and topics. My resources consist of lectures, multiple choice questions, true-false questions, as well as exercises. Go ahead, start your free trial today. Data definition language, or DDL, is a subset of the SQL, and it's used for what? Look at the term, definition, used for defining and managing database structures such as tables, indexes, and constraints. And we focus more on tables, but we will also discuss constraints as well. It helps build and modify the structure of a table. I hope you know what a table is. A database, a big database, could have many different tables. Customer table, product table, order table, so on and so forth. And those tables are connected in one way or another, whether it's a one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many, so on and so forth. The assumption here is you know basic concepts about foreign key, primary key, relational database. But specifically, the command we're going to be learning under the data definition language are the create, the alter command, the drop command, the truncate command, and the rename command. In this lecture, I will focus on the create and alter command. Let's go ahead and start to discuss the create command. Well, as the word suggests, create command. What are we creating here? The create command is a foundational aspect of the database setup. We're setting up the database. The database is made of tables. So what are we creating? We are creating new tables and objects in the tables. So it allows the creation of database structure, which is made of tables. While the create can be used for various objects like databases, tables, indexes, views, we will focus on the create command, will focus on tables. So this is our focus here. The create table statement, this is the order, the syntax, the programming. Create table is used to define a new table. So we're focusing on table, specifying its layout in terms of columns, data type, and constraint. So a table will have certain columns, layout, constraint, data type, something like this. For example, this is the language to create a table. We'll have the table name, column 1, data type, what's the constraint for the data, column 2, data type, what's the constraint for the table. Specifically, let's take a look at a student table. So this table is a student table. That's the table name. So we are creating this table. The first column is student ID. It's made of integers. Integers is 0, 1, 2, 3 numbers. It's a primary key. So the student ID is the primary key. Then we have column 2. We're going to add the first name of the individual. And this is going to be a variable character up to 50 characters. Last name, also variable character. The date of birth will be a date. The GPA of that student, because we're dealing with a student, decimal. We could have 3 numbers. 2 of them are decimals. This is basically the way the language is presented. And this is what the table look like. Student ID. So we'll have the student ID 0001, the name, last name, date of birth, and GPA. And we'll have the record of many students. But this is the table. So the first thing, the create command will create the table, and this is what we did. We created a table, the create command. Now let's talk about the constraints. When creating a table, you can define the constraints that enforce the integrity of the data. And I hope you know what the integrity of the data. We have one whole session. It's part of the control of securing the database, making sure that the input that we are inputting has integrity. Some of the commonly used constraints are the primary key. What's the primary key? The primary key ensures that each value in the column is unique and not null. Not null means we have to have something. And each table will have one primary key that identify uniquely that table. For example, in this example here, our primary key was the student ID. And I hope you know the difference between primary and foreign key. Unique, we want to ensure that all values in the column are unique. So the values in the column are unique. They're not the same as each other. Not null. We want to make sure that all columns cannot have null value. You have to have something. Null means nothing. You have to have something. You want to have a foreign key. The foreign key establishes a link between the data and two tables. The foreign key is what creates the relationship where values in column must match values in some primary key in another column. For example, we could have the order table, and in the order table, we would have the customer ID as the foreign key, linking the customer to the order table. We would have check, which a check ensure that the value in the column satisfy a specified condition. We would look at a short example. And also we would have a default setup. A default setup is something that the column would default to if you did not enter anything. For example, if it's a date, if it's a field where you have to input the date and you don't put the date, it will automatically autofill the current date. Basically, it's a default. So let's take a look at an example of constraint. Let's take a look at this table again. We have the order date. For example, the order date is the default. The default is the current date. So this is what the constraint is. So every time you start an order, this is order stable, not the student, order stable. We have an order ID, it's the primary key. The order date, the constraint, it will automatically be there. We'll have amount must always be non-negative. So notice the amount, it has to be greater than or equal to 0. So the amount cannot be negative. We cannot have an order where we have to pay money. The amount has to be positive. We could have up to 10 digits and 2 of them can be decimal. That's plenty of money for one order, right? Customer ID is the foreign key. Here, the customer ID must be included with the order because every order should have a customer. You cannot have an order without a customer. We should have a customer ID. This means that any value in the customer ID column of the order must correspond to a value in the customer ID column of the customer table. So this is referencing. We have to reference some other customer. We cannot have an order without a customer. Who are we selling the product to if we don't have a customer in the order table? And how do we link the customer? We link the customer through a foreign key. Let's take a look now at the alter command. Alteration, changing, right? You're altering something. Different than create. We know what create is. Create is create the tables, and we showed you what we did. Now we're going to be altering. The alter command in SQL data definition language is used to modify, alter, change, modify the structure of an existing database object such as table. We're altering tables here. The command is especially useful. Now, why do we have this alter? Why do we alter the data? Because over time, we're going to learn more about our business. We're going to have new needs for the business. So we need to make adjustments. So the command is especially useful because database tables often need adjustments after their initial creation. This is what we think we need. Then once we started the business, we needed to change what we thought we need, either due to change in requirement or evolving data model. I'll give you an example. For example, let's assume we're only selling to US customers. So the address has to have a zip code. Every address has to have a zip code. Then suddenly we started to sell to international customers. Well, internationally, they don't have a zip code that's a 5-digit zip code. So what we have to do, we have to go in and change the address constraints. So this is what we mean by the need will change. So the alter table statement, so this is the command, alter table statement is employed to add, delete, or modify columns. So we're looking at the columns. We can add one, delete one, or change the column. Not the table. We're dealing with columns, or add, drop, constraint in an existing table, or go into the constraint and change the constraint, whatever we need to change. Let's start with add a column, just to kind of give you an idea what we are looking at. So the language would look something like this. Alter table, that's the command. You put the table name, whatever the table name is, add column, name of the column, data type, and what constraint you want to add. For example, alter table students, that's the table that we're altering, and add the email, and the email could be a variable character up to 100. In this case, we are adding a new column called email to the student table. So this is the student table. This is, think of this as the old student table. And now what we did, we added this email. So notice what we did here is alter command. We did not go back and create a new table. We are altering an existing table. Make sure you know the difference between create, basically when it's initially born, versus you have the table and you're altering the table. Just like we add a column, what can we do? You guessed it. We can drop a column. It would look something like this. Alter command, the table name, whatever the table name, drop column is the order, and you name the column, something like this. Alter table, the student table, drop column email. Well, the command removes the email column. So this is what it looked like earlier. Now the email is gone, and now we have this table. We altered the table, so we can add a column, remove the column. Now remember, why am I mentioning this? Because a drop in a column is totally different than dropping a table. Totally different. So make sure we understand we are working with columns here, not the whole table. We're not dealing with table, because that's a totally different command when you drop a table. You could modify a column. What's modify? Make some changes. This action is used to modify the data type of a column or to resize it. For example, alter table, you put the table name, modify column, whatever you want to do, new data type. For example, alter table students, modify first name, rather than 50, make it 100. We're resizing it. Some names, they need 100 characters, so therefore make it rather than 50. We have names that are close to 100. This example changes the data type of the first name, expanding it to allow 100 up to 100 characters. For example, here we have Adam. Adam is 4 characters, but we could have a name that's way larger. Before it was 50. Now we want to increase that, because we find out that we have customers with more than 50 characters in their first name. Therefore, what do? We modify the column. We don't create a new table. We modify the existing column. We could rename a column. Well, the exact syntax for renaming a column can vary between database systems. However, again, we're using general SQL. The following syntax will be used. Alter table, we put the table name, rename column, whatever the old column is, name to whatever we want to name the new column. Something like change the telephone, this is NE, to contact information. So this is the old table where we have the telephone, and we want to change that to contact info. We're renaming a column. That's fine. That's acceptable. What do? We alter this. Adding constraints. You can also add constraint like primary key, unique key, foreign key, etc. to an existing table. Obviously, you could have only one primary key, but you may want to alter that one. Alter table name, add constraint name. This is the programming. We're not concerned about the programming. I'm just showing it to you, so they'll show you the simple example. Alter table student, add constraint, unique email. So every customer should have a unique email to ensure that email column in the student has unique values. So no one student can have two same email. Basically, what we're saying is, if this is an email, if you're inputting an email, let's go back here to the table. I should have showed you the table here. We don't have an email, but let's assume go back to the table email. What we're saying here is, you cannot have a same student with this student with the same email. So each email here has to be unique to one student. That's what we're saying. Unique, that column has to be unique. It cannot be the same. If you put someone's email, they'll say it will be rejected. It doesn't work because we added that constraint that email has to be unique. And the email, it has to be, for example, name@someserver.org.com. That's something like this as well. We can drop a constraint also. We can add a constraint. We can also drop a constraint. Okay. For example, alter table, whatever the table we're altering, drop a certain constraint. Alter table student, drop constraint, some constraint name. Whatever you want to do, just remove a name constraint if we have a name constraint from the student table. For example, now we could, use numbers or whatever we want to do in the name column. renaming a table. Well, renaming a table. Notice, now we are dealing with a table. When you rename a table, you don't create a new table. It was already created under the create column. Renaming a table is under the alter command. So the reason I'm mentioning this, because this is what you're going to be tested about, knowing these commands. You could also alter table command to rename a table. You cannot drop a table, but you can rename a table. Okay? So for example here, what we want to do, alter table students, rename to alumni. So we want to change the students table. We don't want to call it students, we want to call it alumni now. That's fine. So what we did in this session is we looked at create and alter, and the best way to kind of test our knowledge is to take a look at an example. Let's take a look at this multiple choice questions from Farhat lectures. At TechCo, a growing startup, the database administrator wants to introduce a new column called employee type to the existing employee table, which will denote whether an employee is a permanent staff or a contractor. Now we're being asked which SQL command should the administrator use. Now in this quiz, I have 4 choices, of which 2 they are not in this session. We did not cover in this session. What does that mean? It means the answer must be either, in this session we either covered create or alter. So what is the select? Just to cover it real quick, we'll explain it in different session, is used for retrieving data from a table, not for modifying its structure. So we're not retrieving any data. That's A is out. B, insert. This is adding new records into a table and not for changing columns. So this is adding a record. So what is a record? You remember we have the student name. We could have records, many records, different students, 001, 002. And we have a record for these students. That's not what we are doing here. What we are doing here is, what we are being asked is adding a new column, a new one. Okay? And basically to kind of mark whether that person is a permanent employee or a contractor. So, do we create or do we alter? Which command do we use? Do we use the create or do we alter? And I hope you know, based on what we learned so far, that we are not creating anything new. All what we're doing is we're altering, and altering would allow us to do what? Add a new column. So alter table employees and add employee type, and we want to have 50 character. Otherwise the default is permanent. So if you don't choose anything, the default will be permanent, but you have the option to change permanent or contractor. That's it. What should you do now? You got to go to Farhat lectures, look at additional MCQs, true, false. That's going to help you, whether you are an accounting information students or a CPA candidate or looking to study for a professional certification. Invest in yourself. Good luck. Study hard. And of course, stay safe.